Hello, you beautiful souls. How are you doing? I hope everyone's doing really great. This is video number 20 of What Star Are We From? This can be found in my playlist section on my channel under Star Lineage, where all the videos on this. Welcome. And I hope you're all doing great. So, let's see. I'm going to begin by reading the narrative. Oh, and, oh, that's right. I wanted to clarify, well, from everything that I know and have learned, all of the beings in the universe have souls. We're not the only ones. So welcome. Welcome, all you beautiful souls. All right. Here's the narrative for this video. Galactic Heritage Cards are used to help us tap into our star lineage and karmic patterns, and also reveal lessons brought to Earth from the stars, and how these lessons can be used in our life on Earth now. As star lineage spread more accurately reflects that stellar influences are working with you now in the moment you choose the cards. If you do readings often, the cards may change, but over time you will notice a pattern that keeps emerging if you are working with the cards in a sincere way. This is a fluid system without fixed positional meanings because it represents the multidimensional and holographic nature of consciousness. Each card has a number, a civilization, a theme, and text that goes with it. The numbering order is based on the journey from unity to polarity through the integration and back to unity. We have 21 different species and 108 cards in this deck. 4 timeline suits, past, present, future, and parallel. The cards are numbered based on the journey from unity to polarity and back to unity, reflecting a universal theme, that of a state of oneness, a fragmentation into individuality, and the process of integration back to the state of oneness. Thus, the cards in the lower numbers represent the earliest process of unity, fragmenting into individuality, and the star consciousness who guides us. Early to mid-range numbers represent physical civilizations. The higher number cards are the reintegration cards, representing a movement of energy from unity to polarity and then to reintegration. Card numbers later in the deck represent the integrated processes of our star family as it moved towards unity. Parallel cards refer to a certain era of that civilization on the card. Future cards are an era of mature civilizations, where our extraterrestrial guidance mostly comes. These cards work with your intuition. Okay. Now we've got the number messages coming through number 5, fluidity, 19, feminine principle, 24, self-discipline, good intentions, number 46. Let's see. Yeah, this one has come up like this is the 7th time this message has come through. And then we've got abandonment on 50, and 56 is healing, crisis, and purging. 81 is learning to nurture, and 92, calling out or calling our parts home. Okay. So we'll begin with the message coming through in card 5, fluidity. This is Andromeda parallel. No. Isn't that interesting? And this is the 2nd time this message is coming through. I hope you can see this okay. My eyes aren't what they used to be, and I've been messing with lighting, and I resolution and all that stuff. So let me know. Okay, the message receiving through card number 5, fluidity, Andromeda, in the parallel timeline. The nature of consciousness is to be fluid, to flow with the natural currents of the universe. But life in a physical body often causes us to be rigid, whether in beliefs, actions, or emotions. Andromedan consciousness is very fluid also. You know how to be this way innately as well. Take some time every day to connect with the Andromeda energy and practice going with the flow. See how your life changes when you don't try to control your reality. This isn't about becoming a victim. Let yourself surf the universal energy instead of trying to control it. See what happens. This is something I work on all the time. Going with the flow. Okay, here we go. To understand the concepts of the Andromeda reality, there are other cards that they recommend. Of particular importance to remember one reason why the Andromedans are our teachers, because they offer a contrasting reflection in which we can see ourselves, particularly regarding the human qualities of rigidity, resistance, and attachment. Continuing with the theme of what the Andromedans have to teach us, this card speaks to the results of embracing change, letting go of confusion, and remembering our natural state of fluidity. This inner quality is extremely important because when we incarnate into more dense realities, like Earth 3D, we will experience a greater degree of suffering if we do not remember our true fluid nature. If this card appears in your reading, look at the other cards surrounding it to see how it can be applied. Perhaps it is acknowledging this part of your nature, or maybe it is challenging you to find your fluidity as a way to end your suffering. In any case, as planet Earth goes through its transition, the quality of fluidity in our consciousness becomes an essential skill that will serve to carry us into new paradigms of being. Without fluidity, we will simply be forever stuck in the old, recycling the belief patterns that hindered evolution. The natural state of consciousness is fluidity. Let yourself tap into that truth and know that the Andromedan consciousness is there to assist when needed. That's a good message. It's very helpful. Okay, then we're going to the messaging card 19. This is feminine principle. There we go. Vega past. There you go. Feminine principle. And this card, this message, this is the second time this message is coming forward. Okay. The ancient pagan civilization, breaking away from the Lyrans, manifested the feminine principle by their intense devotion to principle expression. They were the earliest priests and priestesses. They were the first to develop spiritual methods. They had no interests in moving out into galaxy to develop planets like the Lyrans. All they needed was within. This card reminds you of the same truth. All you need is within you. Stop looking outside of yourself for fulfillment. Instead, rely on your own light and inner awareness. The deeper you go within, the vaster the universe becomes. This is the first Vega card in the deck. The Vegan civilization was an offshoot of the Lyran civilization. They formed their own civilizations because they had a different belief system about how to interact with reality. Instead of the pioneering spirit of the Lyrans, who boldly explored and conquered the physical reality around them, The Vegans took a more feminine, spiritual approach to living in the physical world. They were very inwardly focused and preferred spiritual pursuits. At first, this left them vulnerable and weak in the eyes of the Lyrans, and it caused a lot of war between the two civilizations. But it was the Vegans who eventually mastered spiritual arts. If this card comes up in your reading, it could have many meanings depending on the other cards in the spread and what you know about your own past connection to the Vegan civilization. This card could be imploring you to reconnect with your inner feminine energy or to focus more on your spiritual development. Conversely, it could be pointing out that you focus too much in the feminine energy and need to be balanced in your life. Look honestly at the spread and your inner self and be open to receiving this card's message from your higher self. Yeah, it's something I work on a lot. Okay, now this next one here, next message coming through is self-discipline, Vega present. Love the art on these. Okay, here's the message. The profound nature of Vegan mysticism came from their intense self-discipline. Oh, and this is the third time this message is coming through. Couldn't remember I said that. As an example, you see this now in martial arts or meditation practices. Spiritual skills do not develop without this self-discipline and devoted practice. Karmically, many humans now either resist discipline or crave it because of their ancient experiences. What is your pattern? Know that self-discipline is a vital part of spiritual growth, but too much of it creates rigidity. It is important to find the middle ground and use discipline as a tool to further your growth without it becoming a hindrance. Probably the best pop culture reference to help people understand the nature of the ancient Vegan people is that of Mr. Spock from Star Trek. In that famous TV show, the Vulcan race was known for its intense self-discipline to control emotion. The Vegans had a similar commitment to not only self-discipline in order to work with emotion, but also to evolve spiritually, manifest what they needed in their world, and organize their society. This trait can be both positive and negative. In the positive sense, it can lead you to the heights of spiritual advancement and enlightenment. But in the negative sense, it can lead to self-sacrifice and even the control of others, which played out in the descendants of the Vegans, the Orions. If you receive this card in your reading, you must look at your life situation and the other cards to truly see the perspective the cards are showing you. Do you need more self-discipline in life and spiritual development, or do you need less? Do you resist the concept of self-discipline, or do you use it to punish yourself? Examining all of these factors and more will help you see how the message of this card can be applied to your life. I strive for this balance. But yeah, self-discipline. Part of that for me is doing my meditation every day. So far, I'm doing all right. But I have to work at that balance, like most of us do. Okay, now this next message is coming through number 46. Good intentions, serious past. There you go. Okay. And this message has come up for us, 7 times. For me, 7 times. So this one is out front as far as bringing this message out. The ancient Syrians had very good intentions when they worked on Earth during the genetic projects. But sometimes good intentions are not enough. Mistakes are made and lessons are learned. Good intentions must be combined with foresight, integrity, and humility. This card asks you to look at the good intentions in your heart about an action you are making and find out how they can be strengthened through honest self-observation, realistic evaluation, and long-term vision. And most importantly, should mistakes be made, remember to forgive yourself. This is another card that reflects the challenges the new species have as they begin to mature. Just like the Pleiadians, enthusiasm, desire for service, and good intentions are not enough to ensure evolution. They must be tempered with long-range vision, patience, wisdom, and other traits. This card refers to the good intentions of the Sirians and other species like the Pleiadians during the ancient time on Earth when they were interacting with new humans. These good intentions were admirable, but were often not enough to stop short-sighted mistakes and quick actions that could have been avoided with a little bit of wisdom and patience. Every new mature species passes through this test, and the Sirians were no different. If you have this card in your spread, it can have several meanings. It could refer to past lives of yours in which you were either a Sirian interacting with Earth or a human who benefited or suffered because of the actions of these young Sirians. Applying it to life now, it could also be giving you advice to look more deeply into your good intentions for action in life to see if there is a hidden reason for the action that may be more self-serving. It is also challenging you to look at these good intentions and see if down the road these good intentions might actually inadvertently hurt someone else. Part of becoming a self-responsible species is becoming able to be honest about our intention and be hesitant to act without full awareness that the action is supported by the universe. Yeah, we need to always examine our intentions. I know I do. Okay. Now, the card number 50, Abandonment, Earth Past. This is the fourth time receiving this message. There you go. In the 20 videos. This is number 20. So that's how many times we've got it since the series started. Okay, I'm going to begin. Species often have karmic issues to clear as well as people. One of the main issues for humans to clear has to do with abandonment. When the ETs left Earth in the ancient days, the pain of that departure left humanity with scars of abandonment. Humanity felt as if it had no role models or parents to guide it. Along with the abandonment, we experienced anger, sadness, and self-pity. But as we remember our place in the universe, these wounds can be healed. This card asks you to help humanity heal by remembering your universal connections and the fundamental truth: we are never alone. While on the surface level, this card refers to the time in Earth's past when our ET forefathers left the planet and we felt very alone. It also refers to a very deep issue that serves as a wound for all beings in creation. This wound is discussed in many esoteric texts and is that of the original separation we experience from the source. In a sense, it is that which drives us toward reintegration and wholeness once again. Probably more than any card in this deck, this card has many layers to it, and you will need to truthfully look at your life and your challenges in order to understand the message it is bringing you. If you are consciously aware of pain regarding abandonment as a human in this life, or fear of it. This card implores you to heal that wound. On a deeper level, the message of the card may have to do with this original wound of the separation from source, resulting in feeling of loneliness, disconnected, guilt, low self-worth, and so forth. Take some time to explore this idea and see where it leads. Look to the other cards in your spread for hints or further insight. Yeah, I've talked about this before. I had abandonment issues. I didn't realize it, but I do, and I've worked on that, and I continue to work on it. It's not as pervasive as it was when I was younger, so it's a work in progress. We are all a work in progress. Okay, our next message is through card 56. Healing, Crisis, and Purging. Orion, present time. This is the second time this message is coming through. Healing, Crisis, and Purging. Love the art. There we go. Okay. Whenever healing takes place, so does purging. This means that the old toxic energy has to be released. Often we interpret this release as a sign that things are getting worse. They are not. Even on Earth now, as we are purging and transforming, it looks like we are getting sicker, but we are actually releasing a lot of old toxic energy. This card asks you to not fear this purging process because it is essential. It is an essential part of transformation. In fact, seek it out. It is time to let go of some ancient patterns that you have carried for lifetimes. As they release, know that the purge is a good sign of healing. This card is also referring to an era of Orion history in which polarity conflicts were beginning to heal. The healing of polarity in Orion actually happened very quickly compared to other civilizations, and thus they had to go through a lot of rapid detoxification of old belief systems and ways of being. Polarity integration and healing is happening on Earth as well, but more slowly than it did on Orion. And this creates a lot of chaos that is seen in the world around us. It is important to believe that sometimes there is a higher reason for chaos and pain. It can be a sign of profound transformation. When you have the experience of pain and chaos in your life, look closely at what needs to be changed or transformed. It is likely that this aspect of you is crying out for change, or even a death of an old way of being. If you move with the flow of this energy despite the chaos around you and stay connected to your inner truth, you can navigate through this temporary pain and confusion and emerge on the other side into a more integrated, healthy, and happy you. If this card is in your reading, it may refer to a lifetime during this era in Orion, or it may also refer to a dramatic change happening or needing to happen in your life now. Pay attention to the message and trust that chaos, pain, and purging are not always negative things, but can lead to profound healing. Yep. So true. I've been there. Okay, the next message is to card 81. Find it here. There we go. We've got learning to nurture. This is the second time this message is coming forward. This is Zeta Reticuli present. There you go. Okay. When the Zetas turned off their emotions in the ancient days and lost the ability to procreate, they also lost the understanding of how to nurture. Later, when they began procreating again, They had no idea how to nurture their new children and relied on humans to help them. The issue of nurturance is an important one, but it isn't one-sided. We must nurture ourselves as well as each other. This card asks you to look honestly at your ability or resistance to nurture yourself. If your needs are not met, you cannot be of service to others. It is time to honor your self-nurturing needs without guilt. In their darkest time in the past, the Zetas vowed never to feel emotion, thinking that emotion was the cause of their problems. But being fully cut off from emotions always backfires. It causes isolation and tremendous desolation, as if you live in a desert with no source of nourishment. In physical reality, nurturing and the giving, receiving of love are forms of nourishment that are essential. With help from humans, Zetas had to learn how to give and receive nurturing and love. If you pulled this card, it could have several meanings. Most likely it refers to a tendency you might have to put everyone else first and never nurture yourself. If this is the case, then this card is a loud message that this must change. If you don't nurture yourself, you don't have the energy to assist others. It is time to see your own nurturing to be as important as the nurturing of others. An alternate meaning might be that you are so afraid to open your heart to nurturing from others because you don't want to get hurt. If so, this old pattern must be released. If you have a particularly strong Zeta connection, this card may also refer to a lifetime you've lived during this era, or a Zeta being who's connected to you now. Whatever the meaning, begin to form a new relationship with the idea of nurturing, both of the self and of others. Where it leads may be a pleasant surprise. I have to work on that. I need to do that. We all need to do that. So if I drop out of sight, you'll know I'm off nurturing myself. Okay, now the last message coming through for us in this video is 92, calling our parts home, Sirius in the future timeline. There you go. And this is the second time this message is coming through. When we connect with the future Sirius energy, it acts as a force that nudges us towards the integration of all of our parts, the shadow and the light. If you have had lifetimes of deep polarity and struggle, this Sirius energy can provide a profound healing if you allow yourself to embrace all parts of you, even though you don't want to see. Take a quiet moment and visualize the star Sirius. With each inhale, breathe in its energy. With each exhale, release old, separated parts of you into the light of Sirius. In doing this, you call all parts of you home. This card accesses energy from the Sirian era after they could become an awakened species and transcended to a non-physical fifth density state. The Sirians from this era are a great model for humans, showing how a physical species can transcend the challenges of being immature, because awakened transcended physical existence and then serve as guides for other beings. The Sirians from this era are devoted to serving humans and other species as they, too, experience planetary awakening. In order for this awakening to happen, individuals and the planetary consciousness as a whole must begin a process of integrating the aspects that were never allowed to be embraced, the shadow as well as the light. In that way, this card is a very healing card. If it shows up in your reading, there may be many messages. It could be that Syrian being is working directly with you to assist your growth, and this being could strongly have the potential of being a future self for you. The strongest message, however, is that it is time for you to begin to embrace the parts of yourself that you always wished to keep separate, the parts of you that you cannot love. All of these parts must now be embraced. When they are, your full being will be home. This is the first step on the path of awakening. Oh, all beautiful messages. All right. I always get something great out of these videos. I find them very uplifting, informative, helpful, nurturing, insightful. And I hope you do too. And with that, let's every one of us be the light. Remember to love yourself and love the others. Okay. I love you all. Until the next video, take real good care of yourself. And I will see you then. Bye for now.